This program aims to find solutions to your medical queries. It seeks answers to common health problems that have been hounding you. We will help you out in finding answers to your medical concerns. Good evening, everyone. I'm Angel Jacob, and this is MedTalk, your weekly on-air health consultation here on the Solar News Channel. Despite having an active lifestyle, eating well should always be one's main concern.
A balanced diet is actually providing the sufficient nutrients that one person needs based on the age group. Kasi iba-iba yung needs natin. So the balanced diet is actually composed of the three major nutrients, or what we call the carbohydrates, protein, and fats.
The Department of Science and Technology, or DOST, has introduced a simple guide for adults in an attempt to curb the growing number of overweight individuals in the country. Aptly named Pinggang Pinoy, it features Go, Grow, and Glow kinds of food designed to give Filipinos a balanced diet with just the right blend of nutrients.
Yung Pinggang Pinoy natin, the graphic depiction siya, it's a picture where you can see yung carbohydrate parts, the rice, and other rice substitutes. Our meat portion, which is the protein, and also included there is the leafy vegetables and also the fruits.
According to a 2008 Food and Nutrition Research Institute study on cholesterol levels among Filipinos, 1/3 of 7,700 Filipinos surveyed had borderline high to high cholesterol levels.
Not one food item can provide all the nutrients that we need. So we need to eat variety of food items every day.
Eating a balanced diet will help the body realize its full potential to do its functions. What are some health risks to consider when creating your diet plan? What exactly happens to your body when you consume junk food? What types of food items will help you stay at a weight that's ideal for you? Find out the answers tonight on MedTalk. And joining us tonight is Chef Maria Lourdes Cruz-Caudal, a culinary nutritionist and dietitian from the St. Scholastica's College and Culinary Institute of Cagayan de Oro. You may join the discussion by calling our hotline at 548-4678. Hi, Chef. Good evening.
Good evening, Angel.
Welcome to MedTalk.
I am so pleased to be here.
It's our pleasure to have you during the month of July, which
Yes.
is Nutrition Month.
Nutrition Month, yes.
So, what is the importance of nutrition, Chef?
Well, nutrition is all about food. And of course, everyone needs to eat food every day for sustenance, for survival. But when you say nutrition, it's about how the body utilizes and uses all the nutrients that we find in food.
So why is it important for the body to have all these nutrients?
Because all these nutrients are essential for the proper functioning of the body. And no single nutrient can do everything.
Okay.
No single nutrient can do all. That's why we have the macronutrients, the micronutrients, and we also have water.
Okay. So let's talk about the macronutrients
Yes,
first.
actually, when you say macro means big. And there are three macronutrients. Now we have carbohydrates, which Filipinos love very much,
Yes.
and proteins and fats.
Okay. So why this? Okay,
We call
go
them
ahead.
macro because the need comes in larger quantities. The micronutrient group is composed of vitamins and minerals. Micro means small. We measure them by the milligrams or micrograms. But no matter how small the need is, it's very important that we incorporate them in our daily diet.
So the macronutrients are the carbohydrates, the
Yes.
proteins, and
the fats. Actually, they are the nutrients that provide the body with energy
Okay.
and fuel.
And what are some examples of the carbohydrates?
Carbohydrates,
the fats?
of course, the Filipino staple rice and bread, For protein, you have the meats and fish and chicken and eggs and milk. And for fats, of course, we have invisible and visible. Of course, you have butter, egg yolks, the fat in milk, oil, mayonnaise. These are all sources of fats.
Just by mentioning all of those things, parang I'm getting hungry, Chef. and parang you're thinking that, am I eating the right amount of nutrients every day? You know, you just mentioned all these macro and micronutrients that our body needs daily or per meal, no?
Yes.
And there's a certain amount that we need per meal.
Well, actually, before, the Department of Health was pushing on the 500 kcal plate. That was before. I don't know if it still holds true today. 500 kcal would mean that it is healthier if a person will consume only not more than 500 kilocalories on a plate per meal, or at least 500 to 600, the most. When you say 500, I think that's very hard for us.
Yes.
Because a cup of rice is already equivalent to 200 calories. And most men would not really be contented with 1 cup.
Yes.
So if you consume 2 cups, that's already 400. Like if you have half a cup of vegetables, that's 16. Meat, which would be the size of a matchbox, if it's medium fat meat, is already 86 calories. So if you get to eat 2, which I know you'll not be satisfied, that's 86 times 2, plus the oil. So it's really hard to maintain the 500 kcal plate.
And
Normally, we consume about 800
per plate.
per plate.
That includes dessert?
That includes this.
I ask because now I know a lot of people are already conscious with the calorie count. There are so many gadgets as well that will indicate how many calories you have consumed for the day just by, typing it in.
But Angel, more than calorie counting, what really bothers us most is the amount of exercise that each person is really engaged in per day. No matter how small the feedings are and no matter how low the calorie intake is, if we really do not sweat it out, it will not help us really keep ourselves trim and fit.
So we have to be mindful also that if we do not exercise, we should also lessen our calorie intake.
Yes, we have to exercise. We have to sweat it out.
And
every day.
Every single, even just walking, no? Even just
Brisk
30
walking,
minutes, Chef,
yes. No? But me, myself, I really find it hard to sweat it out. Because if we're busy from the time that we wake up in the morning to the time we retire at night, it's really very hard to engage in very strenuous activities.
And that's why we tend to eat more because the excuse sometimes given is that we're tired.
Our lives now are very stressful.
Yes.
Stress adds to the weight, gain in weight.
But if we were to count calories, Chef, how should we do it? What is the proper way to do it? I understand there's a different calorie count for the male and the female, depending on age as well.
Yes, males should be happier because they are allowed higher calories for physical activity and for the basal metabolic rate. In computing the calorie requirement of an individual, there are 3 factors that we consider. The first is the basal metabolic rate, or the energy that we need at rest. And then the physical activity, the energy we need for the work that we do. And the last but not least, specific dynamic action of food, or the energy that we need in order to digest the food that we eat. And the sad part about it is, as we age, our calorie intake should decline by 10% for every decade of our lives.
Why is that?
Because of the decline in basal metabolic rate.
Even if you exercise?
Yes. Basal metabolic rate is different from physical activity.
Okay.
Actually, BMR, or basal metabolic rate, consumes more calories than physical activity.
And so that you mentioned that was for the male and female?
Yes.
The computation.
But males have more muscles. They need more oxygen for muscular contraction, which explains why the BMR of males are higher than that of females.
And for this computation, which is
then we add them up all together.
It's not that complicated, no? But for the individual, can they do it, or should they consult a dietitian?
Of course,
or
the dietitian is the one who is an expert in doing that. But I understand in the website, FNRI and DOST had published already sample menu plan for this age group and this
Okay.
gender. The sizes of the meals, the sizes of the meats, they are already available.
So we can just refer to the website of
Yes,
FNRI.
you can refer to the website. They are
okay.
very available. So you can actually use them as your pattern. But if you really want a more personalized one,
Yes.
based on every inch of your body, then you have to seek the help of a dietitian or a nutritionist.
Okay, so before we seek the help of a dietitian or nutritionist, syempre sometimes we'd like to do it on our own. We'd like to try, you know,
Yes.
to meet that daily calorie intake or the nutrients that our body needs. So
Yes.
how do we prepare meals at home to meet the daily requirements of our
We're talking
body?
here of the nutrients, right?
Yes.
The macro, the micro,
Micro,
and
and
water.
water,
Okay.
yes.
Just as long as we follow MOVABA. MOVABA is MO, MO is moderation, VA stands for variety, and BA stands for balance. Which means that moderation, everything must be taken in or consumed in moderation. You don't have to eat the entire gallon of ice cream for today. A cup would be fine. Variety means you have to eat everything because no single food can provide us with all the nutrients. So you should have a fruit for each meal, you should have milk, you should have vegetables, both from animal and plant sources. Rice, like if you have fish for breakfast, you can have chicken for lunch and pork or beef for dinner. It has to be in variety. And BA stands for balance. Balance means a meal with all rice, 6 cups of rice, and soup, and a small piece of meat. Of course, it's not a balanced meal.
But sometimes, you know, to get that balance, you really have to sit down, think about your meal,
Yes,
and
you have to plan.
You have to plan it well.
Everything,
no?
yes.
Chef will come back after the short break. We'll talk about the eating habits of the Filipinos.
Yes.
All that and more when MedTalk returns.
Did you know that eggs contain the highest quality of protein known to man? In fact, all of its parts can be eaten, including its shell, which is known to have high calcium content.
We're back here on MedTalk, still talking about nutrition. You may join our discussion by calling our hotline at 548-4678. Chef, before the
Yes.
break, we mentioned that we're going to talk about the eating habits of the Filipinos. So please describe to us the eating habits of the Filipinos. Is there a pattern to how we eat?
Wala naman kasing perfect, di ba? I mean, there's no specific perfect diet as far as nationalities are concerned. Much more the Filipino. Kasi tayo, we love fad. Kung ano yung uso, fad diets, di ba? Whatever's in now, we all move towards that. Like, eat all you can, smorgasbord, buffet. Filipinos love eating buffet.
Yes.
And when you say buffet, you can go back and get as much as you want. Kaya nga, di ba, nagkaroon na tayo ng mga signage when it's an eat-all-you-can scenario. The restaurant owners would always write on the walls signages like no leftovers and no sharing.
Yes.
Kasi meron ba tayong tinatawag na takaw tingin? We tend to fill up the plates with so much food and ending up not wanting to eat it anymore kasi busog ka na.
We're all guilty of that. At some
Yes,
point,
of course.
Once in a while. No?
At saka number 2, if you attend a party which serves buffet or fiesta, alam mo yung Tagalog, we call it sinusulit. So sulitin mo the time that it's available for free and you want to eat everything from lechon to all.
Yes.
Even if we are aware that we have a health condition, at that moment when you're in front of the lechon, ngayon lang naman. Just for today. And then we tend to overeat. And then if restaurants offer rice all you can, we normally, yes, Filipinos would love to take advantage of the privilege of being given a rice all you can
Yes.
serving. Yung iba, I know, 8 cups of rice
Wow. That's
for a
lot.
small piece of meat. Tapos gravy. We are very aware that gravy is served with fried chicken to make it moist. But Filipinos would take advantage of the gravy all you can, like consuming it as soup, pouring generous amounts on top of the rice, or yung iba ginagawang beverage. So, ganun ang Filipino eh.
So, more or less, it's a little, I'd say, bad habits that we have acquired
Well, I'm
because
a
of our love for
I'm a
for
Filipino,
food.
yes.
Yes, no, I am guilty of the same thing
Yes.
because you're correct, no? Sinusulit talaga.
Oo.
But when
Value
you're,
for money.
yes, but when you're faced with something like that and you really can't help yourself, you want to try everything. Can you just get like a matchbox size for each
Well,
of the...
ideally, that should be practiced. If you want to taste everything, get a small amount of the food on the buffet. And then if you want more, you can come back. Pero meron kasi tayong thinking na, if I come back several times, the host might think I'm matakaw. So I'd rather fill up my plate the first time and not go back, not return to the buffet table. Ganun yung thinking natin eh.
So how do we curb that thinking? How do we adjust or how do we modify our eating habits when you know we're at a party with a buffet or when we're in a restaurant? Would you have any tip?
How I wish I know. Pero kasi if a person is faced with a health condition,
Yes.
like you suddenly discover that you're afflicted with diabetes, baka somehow your conscience would bother you if you overeat on sweets, no?
Right.
Or siguro, naka-atake mo lang ng high blood, or you're faced with elevated cholesterol, that probably might help you control
Okay.
on overeating.
Okay, and you mentioned control overeating. We have a program. The government has a Pinggang Pinoy.
Yes.
You mentioned overeating and plating and how much you put in your plate. What exactly is Pinggang Pinoy and how will it help us enjoy the food at the same time get the right amount of nutrients?
Pinggang Pinoy program is also available on the web. No, we patterned it from the food pyramid developed by the United States Department of Agriculture. We already have our own version of the Filipino food pyramid, where it's shaped like a pyramid, a triangle. At the bottom, you find the carbohydrate foods, and then on top of it, you have the vegetables and fruits, and then the meats and the milk, and then doon sa dulong yung sa tuktok are the fats and oils, which should be used sparingly. We can use this guide because in the pyramid are your grow. Grow means the proteins that will make you grow tall.
Yes.
Glow, the vitamins and the minerals from your fruits and vegetables. And the go, or your energy-giving foods coming from carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. So if it says there at the bottom that you will consume only 6 to 11 servings of your starch and carbohydrate-rich foods, that will be the basis of your Pinggang Pinoy. 6 to 11 servings for the entire day, depending on your age, depending on your gender, and depending on your activity. That's why the DOST published several of that food pyramid for different age groups and for different genders.
Again, this is available in the website
Yes.
for our reference.
Males and females are provided. Also for children, for the elderly, for the adults. And you can use that guide.
Okay, so how has it been since that came out? With the information
It created
given?
awareness, actually. Because in the past, people had this thinking that it's expensive to go to a nutritionist and dietitian. And probably they don't know of anyone who can help them through the diet. So the DOST has published on the web different personalized food pyramid.
And we can use this.
Customized.
It's customized.
Yes.
So for each family.
No, for each
Individual.
individual with varying ages and genders.
So hopefully, each household will try to follow the Pinggang Pinoy.
Hopefully.
That is tailor-made for, how the Filipino eats.
Hopefully, yes.
The Go, Grow, and
Glow.
Glow foods. Can you skip a Grow, a Glow, or a Grow food?
You have to have it
all the time.
because carbohydrates cannot perform the functions of vitamin C. Each nutrient has a specific function which cannot be duplicated by another nutrient.
But sometimes when you're on the go, when you're on the go and you have no time to get all your, the food pyramid, to complete that plate, substitutes, or is there a lesser evil, so to speak, when we
Sometimes,
choose our food?
Yes, there are people who resort to supplements, the capsular form. That is their alternative way of being able to take in complete list of nutrients.
So supplements together with, of course, your
natural food.
But maybe
There's
later
nothing
on,
better than natural food.
later on in the day, you can get a hold of your natural food to
Hopefully.
compensate for.
Yes.
Is that okay to compensate for example, you weren't able to take breakfast, and then you had a little for lunch, and then you compensate at dinner time, but you get, on your plate, it's the complete Pinggang Pinoy allocation for Go, Grow, and Glow. Will that suffice for your daily intake?
Actually, no skipping. No skipping of any meal. It has to be breakfast, light morning snack, lunch, light afternoon snack, dinner, and very light bedtime snack.
So that's 6.
5 to 6 small meals per day.
Okay, so 3 heavy meals per day is not really
Yes.
recommended.
Because your metabolism is not stable if you eat only 3 times a day, 3 big meals a day. While if you eat 4, 5, or 6 small meals per day on a 3-hour interval, your metabolism is stabilized for the whole day.
So from breakfast to your next meal, 3 hours.
Yes, like breakfast at 6, light morning snack at 9, light lunch at 12, then light afternoon snack at 3, then light dinner at 6. Then before you go to bed, you can have something very light like warm milk and toast or crackers just before bedtime.
Oh, okay. And for example, you skip breakfast and then you're on to brunch. So breakfast and lunch, but a small portion only of your breakfast and your lunch in one plate.
Also.
No, also.
It's not acceptable.
I'm trying to find ways for you to accept it, yeah.
Yes, you should have something at least an hour after you get up in the morning.
Okay.
Remember, you starved the whole night.
Yes.
We do not like to put the body in a panic mode. The body panics when you don't eat anything from a fasting night. So it will borrow glucose from the liver. And then after you eat, the first meal that you eat will be deposited as fat.
Oh my, okay.
So instead of you losing weight, you gain more fat.
Okay, thank you for the tip. So we should not make our body panic. We should eat at the proper time, eat the
Yes.
proper nutrients, and
Yes.
at the
Don't
same time,
starve.
don't starve, and we
Yes.
should enjoy our food.
Yes, enjoy food.
That's the most important, no? Your
Kain.
relationship with food.
Yes, kain in Tagalog. Food, not lamon.
Okay. Once in a while.
Yes. Yes, we can cheat. There's
can
cheat
cheat,
day.
yes,
Like
yes.
5 days, you are on a diet. On the 6th day, you can cheat.
Okay.
But not super cheat. Just cheat.
Just cheat.
Yes.
Just a little bit of cheat.
A little bit of what you usually eat for 5 days.
Okay, so thank you for the tip that we can cheat. But, when we come back, we'll compare and contrast. I
Yes.
have salad versus soup,
Yes.
and so on and so forth. We're
Yes.
talking about nutrition here on MedTalk. We're back here on MedTalk, still talking about nutrition. You may join the discussion by calling our hotline at 548-4678. Chef, it's now time to compare and
Yes.
contrast.
Yes.
Let's start off with our salad and soup.
Okay.
So, which is better? Which has more nutrients?
Kasi in nutrition, yung mga raw natin, raw vegetables and raw fruits, contain the three. 100% fibers, 100% enzymes, and 100% nutrients.
Okay.
It's salad.
Okay, so salad.
Uh-uh.
Okay. Others kasi think that soup because it will warm your tummy and it will prepare you or it will line your tummy because you don't have time to eat a better meal.
Actually, ito kasi, the fibers, when they end up in your stomach, and they combine with your gastric juices, nagbo-bloat yan namamaga. So you have this feeling of fullness.
Okay.
So of course, you need the antioxidants.
Even with the dressing there, Chef.
Ay, mas maganda siguro yung Filipino vinaigrette na lang.
Vinaigrette.
Ano
It's
yung
easy to make a vinaigrette, no?
Yes,
How do you make a Filipino vinaigrette?
Filipino vinaigrette, yung local lang natin. We have suka, we have paminta, and asin.
Okay. Suka,
Wala nang
paminta,
olive
asin.
oil.
All right.
Kasi
Ah,
additional calories na naman from fat.
okay, so it's salad.
Yes.
We move on to goat's milk and cow's milk.
Goat's milk and cow's milk. Mas expensive lang yung goat's milk. But do you know na very close ang nutritional content ng goat's milk sa human breast milk? Oo, very close. Kaya lang kasi ito, hindi masyadong, it's not really very affordable.
Yes, and it's quite difficult to find.
It's difficult to find.
Yes.
Okay. Pareho sila. Actually, ang advantage ng goat's milk contain vitamin A. Okay. Cow's milk contain carotenoids. Ano yung carotenoids? Carotenoids are precursors to vitamin A. They only become vitamin A when you eat them and they enter into your body.
Okay.
But if you have a problem with digestion, chances are not the entire of the carotenoid will end up as vitamin A. And goat's milk contains more of riboflavin, more of protein, and more of calcium.
And because it's nearer to breast milk, it's antibacterial also
Yes,
for
yes.
those who will. I understand that sometimes when you drink goat's milk and you're not feeling well,
Yes.
it takes the bad feeling away,
Yes,
no?
yes.
Because it's closest to
Tsaka mas
mother's
digestible.
milk.
The protein is easier to digest.
So between goat's milk and cow's milk,
It's
your
goat's
preference na goat's
Yes,
milk.
goat's milk.
Goat's milk. Okay. Moving on, we have oatmeal and cereal.
Oatmeal.
Okay.
Oatmeal has more natural vitamins and minerals. It has more fiber. It has more protein. And it has less sugar.
Okay. All right.
And it's more natural.
So when you prepare your oatmeal, you add milk and a little bit of sugar, or you
Loaf.
just leave it as is?
No, you have to add liquid, like
Okay.
low-fat milk
Low-fat milk.
or goat's milk if you want.
Water when you prepare.
But
Okay lang.
it tastes yucky.
Yucky,
It will not
okay.
taste very good.
Okay, we
And a
don't
little
want
sugar.
yucky
You
tasting
can add
oatmeal.
banana, you can add the fruit.
Ah, okay. All right. So it's oatmeal.
Yes.
And next, we have coconut water or the sports drinks.
Okay. You know one good thing about the two of them, they contain electrolytes. So that athletes would normally splurge on these two drinks because when you perspire after a heavy workout, when you perspire, you don't only lose water from the body, you also lose electrolytes that water does not have. Okay, between coconut water and a sports drink, I'd go for coconut water.
Okay.
Coconut water has more potassium and less sodium.
All right.
Your sports drink has more sodium and less potassium.
Okay, so coconut water, which is also readily available
Yes.
already, no? Okay. Moving on, Chef. This is quite difficult because it's the carbohydrates na, it's the macronutrients that your
Yes, the
body
main.
needs. Yes. For your energy, as
Yes.
mentioned earlier. So, bread, we have pasta, and we have rice. Okay. Here you go. Bread, pasta, and or rice.
Okay. And or
And or rice.
Okay. We're talking of calories, Angel.
Yes.
They are just the same.
Okay.
2 slices of bread, 1 cup of pasta without the sauce, and half a cup of rice.
Okay.
They're all equivalent to 200 calories. So calorie-wise, nutrient-wise, They are not different from one another.
Okay.
But of the three, rice is the only one that's unprocessed.
Okay.
So it takes a longer time for rice to digest.
Okay.
So you get the feeling of fullness for a longer time. I'd go for rice.
Okay, I was about to ask you, so you would go for, okay, rice is the winner.
Okay, but for dinner, because our digestion slows down at 10 p.m., it's preferred that we have bread.
How many slices of bread and how big a slice do we need at night?
No, this actually is very small. The regular slice of the bread.
Okay.
2 slices is half a cup.
Okay.
So if your requirement is half a cup of rice, then that would be equivalent to 2 slices of bread.
So plain, no...
You can have something on it, protein or what, depending on the computation. You can have a fruit. You can have lettuce, you can have tomatoes and cucumber. That will go well with your sandwich.
You mentioned fruit, no? We should always have a fruit after our meal or before our meal?
Before your meal.
Others say that it's healthier, it's better for digestion to have your fruit before you eat your main meal. Why is that?
Actually, fruits...
Yes,
Actually,
go ahead,
fruits
Chef.
must be consumed before a meal because they digest easily. So that if you consume your fruit at the end of the meal, and then the food that you have eaten takes a longer time for digestion, they would actually cross each other's path. So you start your meal with the fruit. Before your mains get digested, your fruit has already been digested.
Okay, and you can end your, parang bookend siya, you can end your meal again with a fruit.
Well,
Or that's too much
hindi
fruit.
na.
Tama
Before
na.
na lang the meal.
Okay. Chef, we have a caller on the line, Susan. Hi, Susan. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yes, your question, please, for our chef.
Yes, I just wanted to know the nutritionist's input regarding soy milk and almond milk as compared to goat's milk and cow's milk.
Okay.
Thank you, Susan. Chef?
Okay. Soy milk and almond milk. Soy milk binds more protein, actually, while our almond's milk has higher fat content, but it's less starchy. So for protein, I'd go for soy milk.
Okay.
But both soy milk and almond milk are both good sources of vitamin B complex, omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, and the very essential minerals like magnesium and manganese and calcium and zinc.
Okay. So, Susan,
Yes?
did Chef answer your question?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Any other question?
No more, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you for calling. Bye-bye. So, almond milk, Chef, is it lower in calories?
The calorie value of almond milk and soy milk are actually the same.
Are they the same?
Yes,
Okay.
almost the same, almost the same.
All right. So, either of the two will do.
Yes,
no?
but almond milk is more expensive.
Expensive. And again, food choices which should be readily available to the consumer, no?
Yes, soy milk is more available.
It's more available. Okay.
But the problem is uric acid because it
bean.
comes from beans.
Yes. Okay. So, just a little of the soy milk, I
Yes.
guess, for those also who are lactose intolerant.
Again,
who
mobaba.
cannot- mobaba. So, moderation, variety, and
balance.
Okay. So, moderation, variety, and balance. We talked about 6 meals a day. Small meals. So, is this considered a small meal, and is this considered the Pinggang Pinoy?
This is the Pinggang Pinoy.
Okay.
Because if I will computerize, this is 200 plus 32. This is 232. 232, please compute with me.
Okay, 232
plus 40.
plus 40.
The banana is 40 calories, 272.
So 72.
And the fish is 82.
Okay, so
How much is that?
272 plus 272 plus 82.
Plus 82.
Okay, so
Plus
that's
1 teaspoon of oil because this is fried, 45 calories.
okay. So 272 plus 82 plus 45.
Did you add it?
Did you guys add it?
Okay, this is
We're
the
trying to
Pinggang-
add it, Chef.
This is the Pinggang Pinoy. This contains both the macro and the micronutrients.
Okay, so this is fine.
This is very fine.
When we compute or when we prepare our meals, is it advisable to have a cup right beside us? 354.
Oh yes, that's very low. That's very low. That's below the 500.
Okay, so we can still add the dessert.
This is
to
the
meet
dessert.
this one. Okay, I was looking for something sweeter because normally, you know, your dessert, your
Yes.
definition of a dessert is something sweet.
Yes.
Sweeter, yes.
Like
So,
what? You'd like to have a cup of ice cream?
I was thinking of leche flan, maybe.
Oh my God.
No.
That's just you have to compute the eggs and the sugar and the milk. A
Oh,
cup
those are
of
three
ice-
ingredients that you have to factor in to add to your 354 calorie
Yes,
meal already.
because a cup of ice cream is 300 calories. We're talking of plain, like
Yes,
vanilla.
yes.
That's 300 calories.
How about a small slice of chocolate, dark chocolate?
Dark chocolate falls under fat, small one?
Yes.
That would be 45.
45. So 354 plus 45
That's still good.
is 395. So
That's
which is
still
still
good.
good if we're
Yes.
trying to target the 500
Yes,
calories.
at least below 500.
Okay, we'll talk more about that, how to target below 500. We'll get
Yes.
to learn more about how to prepare our meals and get the maximum nutrients our body needs every single day when we come back. You are watching MedTalk. We're talking about nutrition.
Did you know that according to the World Health Organization, or WHO, the biggest single threat to global public health is malnutrition? In fact, malnutrition in the early stages of one's life usually results in worse health and lower educational achievements during adulthood.
We're back here on MedTalk, still talking about nutrition. This time, Chef, let's talk about, we talked about this earlier, skipping breakfast. We have to go back to that because a lot of people who are in a hurry in the morning have no time to sit down, no time to prepare a decent, nutritious meal. So what is the best alternative if you are in a hurry but you want to get the nutrients you need for your energy all throughout the day?
Okay, a glass of milk and a sandwich will be okay. But you cannot start your day without a full breakfast. There will be not enough glucose to fuel your brain cells. So para bang the whole day feeling mo, bobo ka.
Or minsan nakakasakit ng you get a headache
Yes.
if you're not
And
able
then
to
of
eat
course
well.
you compromise the body, you put the body in the starvation mode or panic mode. And then the first meal that you eat after that will be returned to the body as fat.
Okay.
So instead of losing weight, we have the tendency to gain more weight.
So breakfast is indeed the most important meal of the day.
A good breakfast starts the day right.
How about the diets that we hear of these days? There's so many diets that are available and that a lot of people try just so to fit into their lifestyle, their specific lifestyle. And so parang for them to think that they're still eating the right amount or getting the right amount of nutrients by trying all these diets. What do you
Most of
think
the
of that?
diets that I have read, they only have one purpose na for a person to lose weight. Usually kasi, nainip tayo eh. But dietitians kasi, we subtract or we lessen the intake of a person by 500 calories per day if you are on the heavy side. Less 500 calories per day to bring about a weight loss of 1 pound a week. But that's very slow. So that if you're 40 pounds overweight, you will hopefully reach your ideal body weight in 40 weeks. That's about 10 months. And not all people can have the luxury of time to wait. So they really go into this fad diets. Fad diets oftentimes end up providing incomplete nutrients to people. Like most fad diets would only allow fruits and vegetables, no carbs, no rice, and less of meat. Others would only allow meats and no carbs. That would not fit into the Movaba. So you have to eat all of the 6.
Okay.
So if you want to lose weight and keep yourself still healthy and fit, Then you have to wait for 40 weeks if you're 40 pounds overweight. It's slow, but it's sure.
Does that require a dietitian's help, or can you do it on your own? Can the individual do it on your own?
Because the way we do it, we compute first your desirable body weight, your body mass index, and then from the desirable body weight, we compute your total energy expenditure for the whole day, or your calorie intake. Then we convert that into the regular meal pattern.
But following on what you've mentioned earlier na naiinip kasi tayo.
So matagal siya.
Because 1 pound per week, 40
slow.
weeks.
It's very slow.
And we want immediate results, but it will shock our body at the same time,
Yes,
no? If
yes.
we do it
you want it the healthy
quickly.
way, you have to wait. You have to wait. Kasi others, they want to lose more than a pound a week.
Yes. And not necessarily, no, the physique or the body type is telling of how healthy or how malnourished an individual is. Isn't that right?
Sa Filipino kasi, when you say malnourished, we refer to a person who is underweight or severely underweight. Malnourished yun. Pero mal kasi is a prefix that means wrong. When you are very big, you are also malnourished. But in case of the Filipino situation, most of our children now are really severely malnourished. I mean, on the underweight side. Because they have been deprived of enough nutrients from pregnancy down to the toddler years.
So it trickles down to the baby.
Pregnancy.
To pregnancy first and then the baby. And without the proper nutrients,
Yes.
of course, the child will suffer also
Yes.
and lack
And
all the
this-
nutrition he needs
This is
or she
also,
needs.
this has something to do with economic status. Sad to say. Most people who live below poverty line are the ones who are affected by the malnutrition problem.
But
Tatlo
yes.
pa rin yung micronutrient deficiency problem natin. Vitamin A, iodine, and iron.
What does vitamin A, iodine, and iron do to the body? How does it help keep our body healthy?
Vitamin A kasi is very important. No? Vitamin A is good for the eyes and the skin, for the bones, for reproduction. Iodine is for the proper functioning of the thyroid. Okay? And your iron, of course, is for the blood. So lahat to kailangan natin. Pero lahat ito, somehow, is not met. The needs are not met.
We have a Facebook question, Chef. Is it really healthy for children to be on a vegan diet? First, what exactly is a vegan diet?
When you say vegan, it's a diet which does not allow anything coming from an animal. So that you're not allowed to eat meat, chicken, or poultry and fish, eggs, and milk. You are only allowed plant sources.
Okay.
Though plants have protein, they fall under the incomplete side. When you say incomplete protein, not all of the essential amino acids are provided, like legumes and beans. That's why we have to supplement them with the complete proteins coming from animal sources. Not yet for children. The bodies are still hungry. They need to grow, they need to develop, they need to mature. Siguro vegans would be more applicable to the adults.
Okay. Okay. Because sometimes if the parents are vegan, then the food at home is vegan as well, and the children are vegan.
We also have
as well.
protein naman coming from legumes and beans, but they're not complete with all of the essential amino acids.
Chef, we have another caller on the line. Good evening, Gertrude.
Good evening po.
Hi, good evening. Yung tanong mo para kay Chef Malu.
Gusto ko lang po sanang malaman, ma'am, kung ano yung nutritional value ng Carabao's milk.
Carabao's milk.
Opo.
Ang Carabao's milk, pareho din lang, Gertrude, ng cow's milk. They're just the same. Meron din siyang, kompleto rin yan, Gertrude, kompleto rin yan sa carbohydrates, protein, and fats. Meron din siyang, complete protein siya actually, no? Kaya lang, Gertrude, ang importante sa Carabao's milk, umiinom ka ba nito?
Yung pong anak ko, pinaiinom ko.
Oo. How do you acquire it?
May nabibilhan po sa market, yung fresh.
Nakalagay siya sa bote, Gertrude?
Opo.
O, Gertrude, hindi pa pasteurized yun, ha? Hindi pa siya pasteurized. Hindi pa siya pasteurized. Kasi yung nabibili nating gatas sa mga Tetra Pak, pasteurized na yon. Pero if you
Opo.
buy it in the raw form
Opo.
from the palengke, you still have to pasteurize it para yung mga microorganisms na meron doon sa milk ay mamatay. So, ano ibig sabihin ko ng pasteurization? Paiinitan mo lang siya. You don't have to boil it. Paiinitan mo lang siya para maging safe. Safe siya for
Mga ilang minutes po yun?
Kasi ang milk, hindi natin pwedeng painitan ng lalampas ng 10 minuto kasi yung protein quality niya nababawasan. Pero kung sustansya pinag-uusapan, Gertrude, sustansya ng cow's milk at sustansya ng Carabao's milk, pareho lang.
Okay
Comparable.
po. Sige po. Thank you po.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you rin for calling, Gertrude. So, Chef, kailangan painitan, no?
Oo, pasteurization ang tawag doon.
Okay, so you can do that in your own home. Because if
Yes.
she buys it from the market
Yes,
fresh,
yes, yes.
so that's also
Paiinitan mo lang.
okay din yun because it's fresh.
Yes, of course.
Okay, all right.
But you don't boil it. Ang tawag namin doon, scalding.
boiling is
Nag-uusok siya pero it doesn't have bubbles on the surface.
and the nutritional count is the same as
Very, very negligible yung yung differences.
okay. So, Chef, you've alerted us, you've educated us on how to eat well, how to eat right. Any other final word or final tips that we should remember every time we're faced with a buffet setup, with our favorite food, or with with a setup that we cannot say no to?
Oo, kasi ganito yan, Angel. Life is short. Let's not make it shorter.
Okay.
Kasi at the end of the day, we are still what we eat. Ika nga, there's a saying, tell me what you are eating now and I'll tell you how long you will live. On the rise na ang cases ng diabetes, on the rise ng cases ng stroke and heart attack, hypertension, and high blood cholesterol. Kaya siguro we'd like to eat. No? We'd like to eat the best of everything. Pero masarap na kakain ka ng lechon today. Until 60 years old, makakakain ka pa ng lechon, di ba? Hindi yung you end up eating lechon only until 20 years old kasi after that, elevated na yung cholesterol mo. Hanggang tingin ka na lang. So everything must be in moderation, eat variety of food, and balanced diet.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chef.
Thank you, Angel.
We'll keep that in mind, and I'm sure all our viewers and our friends here in the studio will keep that in mind every
you.
time we eat.
Thank
you
you.
very much once
Thank
again,
you.
Chef Malo.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you again next Tuesday, 7 p.m. on your scheduled on-air consultation here on the Solar News Channel. I'm Angel Jacob. Eat well and eat right. Good night.